Welcome to the Explainer. So you want to crack NEET and score incredibly high marks, right? Well, today we're unpacking the absolute ultimate strategy to get you there. We're going to be walking through a comprehensive roadmap that perfectly balances your academic planning, tactical execution, and mental resilience. So let's just dive right in.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. First, the NEET exam blueprint. Then, the three-phase strategy. Mastering daily execution, the power of notes, mock tests and analysis, and finally, protecting your mental health.
Section 1. The NEET Exam Blueprint.
Now, you might be wondering, can you actually score a perfect 720 in NEET without traditional formal coaching? And you know what? The expert consensus is a resounding yes. Achieving that kind of high score really just comes down to fierce self-discipline, a deep conceptual understanding, and super consistent practice. Seriously, a well-organized self-study plan can absolutely rival coaching any day of the week.
Let's break down the 180 questions you actually have to attempt. As you can see, biology is the absolute heavyweight here. It accounts for exactly 50% of the entire test. That's a full 90 questions. Physics and chemistry just split the remaining half. So if you want to score high marks, biology is exactly where the core of your focus needs to be.
And here is a massive, absolute game changer of a strategic insight. 70 to 80% of those questions, especially when we're talking about biology and inorganic chemistry, come directly from your NCERT textbooks, literally straight out of the book. Mastering NCERT has to be your primary mission. Honestly, chasing after advanced reference books before you have that baseline down is a huge strategic error.
Section 2. The three-phase strategy.
Think of your prep in 3 distinct phases, kind of like building a house. Step 1 is your foundation. For the first 6 to 8 months, you need to build a rock-solid NCERT base without jumping all over the place between different resources. Step 2 is practice. This is where you apply those concepts by solving about 50 to 100 MCQs per chapter and just completely devouring previous year's questions. And finally, Step 3, revision. Dedicate those last 3 to 4 months solely to rapid revision cycles and full mock exams.
Section 3. Mastering daily execution.
Okay, so how do we actually do this day to day? Well, depending on your current stage, your daily execution is going to scale up. Beginners or Class 11 students should aim for a solid 6-hour daily plan. Balancing Class 12 boards, 8 hours is going to be your sweet spot. And for the droppers out there treating this like a full-time job, you're really looking at 10 hours a day. But listen, the golden rule for all 3 of these plans: rotate your subjects every 2 to 2.5 hours. It absolutely prevents cognitive fatigue and keeps your retention high.
Section 4. The power of notes.
Note-taking isn't just some passive chore you have to get through. It's a highly strategic skill. When you create personalized notes, you're forcing yourself to synthesize diverse sources and actively consolidate that information. You're basically building a custom cheat sheet attuned exactly to your personal weaknesses. This makes swift, painless revision totally possible later on down the line.
There's a massive difference between average preparation and a real winning strategy. Passive reading, just scanning a textbook page, creates this incredibly dangerous illusion of learning. You think you know it, but you don't. Active recall, which you force by doing strategic note-taking, makes your brain actually pull that information from memory. That right there is what solidifies real understanding.
Section 5. Mock tests and analysis.
All right, I'm going to hit you with a hard truth about scoring high marks. Taking mock tests without actually analyzing them afterward is a completely wasted effort. I mean it. Just looking at your final score provides absolutely zero value if you don't spend an equal amount of time thoroughly analyzing the test to see where you went wrong.
To really make your mocks count, you have to replicate the exact exam conditions. 3 hours, no breaks, the whole shebang. You've got to analyze every single wrong answer to track your error patterns. In fact, if you maintain a dedicated error log that tracks your specific calculation mistakes or conceptual gaps, you can easily boost your final score by 40 to 60 marks. That's huge.
Section 6. Protecting your mental health.
According to some fascinating research on exam stress published in the International Journal of Creative Research Thoughts, rest and mental well-being are actual biological requirements for achieving top scores. Seriously, they are absolutely not luxuries that you can just afford to skip when things get busy.
You really have to actively manage the psychological side of your prep. If you let risk factors like sleep deprivation, test anxiety, and social isolation take the wheel, your well-being is going to collapse. Instead, you need to cultivate protective factors. Establish healthy, structured routines, and definitely lean on social support from your peers and family. That's how you build ultimate resilience.
Take a look at this quote. Chronic lack of sleep impairs attention and memory, directly affecting exam performance. You know those erratic 14-hour marathon study sessions where you just sacrifice sleep entirely? They are biologically counterproductive. Your brain physically consolidates what you learn while you sleep. So, if you skip the sleep, you are literally skipping the retention.
So, the blueprint for scoring high marks in NEET is officially yours. The only question left is, are you ready to stay consistent? The only variable left in this equation is your daily commitment. Trust the process, protect your peace, and get ready to execute. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.